Why Wrath of Jodi? The case of Jodi Arias or Travis Alexander murder is one of the most sensational, lengthy, and convoluted crimes. Let's dive into the world of investigations together. Since the crime was most likely committed with extreme cruelty in a fit of rage, some also refer to it as the Wrath of Jodi. Jodi Ann Arias was born on July 9, 1980. Her parents were living in Salinas, California at the time and were overjoyed by the birth of their child. In September 2006, at the PPL conference in Las Vegas, Jodi Ann met Alexander. Alexander was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and invited her to visit the church. Later, on November 26, 2006, Alexander baptized Jodi Ann in a ceremony that took place in Southern California. In February 2007, they began dating, and Jodi Ann moved to Mesa to be closer to Alexander. In April 2008, she relocated to Whitehike, California, where she lived with her grandparents. For about a year and a half, Alexander and Jodi Ann maintained their relationship despite occasional breakups. They often traveled between their homes in Arizona and California to be close to each other. Alexander's friends, who met Jodi Ann and saw them together, were critical of her and had a negative perception. They noticed her unusually quick temper and behavior, which concerned them. Travis Alexander was a young entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He was born on July 28, 1977, in Riverside, California, and grew up in Mesa, Arizona. Travis was an active member of the church and served in various missionary programs. He also worked in marketing and sales, developing his entrepreneurial skills. Travis was known for his enthusiasm, optimism, and inspiring approach to life. Those who knew him described him as generous and caring, always seeking to help others. In early 2008, Travis Alexander informed his acquaintances about plans to go on a business trip to Cancun, Mexico, on June 15, along with Jodi Ann Arias. However, in April, Alexander asked another girl to accompany him on the trip. Later, on May 28, a burglary occurred at the house where Jodi Ann Arias was living with her grandparents. Various items were stolen, including a .25 caliber Browning pistol, which was never recovered. This fact became significant later when a casing from a bullet of the same caliber was found near Travis Alexander's body at the crime scene. On June 2, Jodi Ann Arias called Travis Alexander 4 times from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., but apparently couldn't reach him as the longest call lasted only 17 seconds. After 3 a.m., Alexander called Arias twice, and they spoke for 18 minutes on the first call and 41 minutes on the second call. At 4:03 a.m., Arias called Alexander again, and the call lasted 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Call records or transcripts were not presented in court. At 5:39 a.m., Arias headed south to rent a car for a long trip to Utah. She fueled up in Whitehike and then rented a car in Redding, California, indicating she would return it to the rental location. On her way to Utah for the PPL conference, she visited friends in Southern California and met with Ryan Burns, a PPL employee. In the late evening of June 3, she seemingly headed to Salt Lake City. On the evening of June 4, Travis Alexander missed an important online conference. The next day, Jodi Ann Arias met with Ryan Burns in West Jordan, a suburb of Salt Lake City, and attended a business meeting. Burns noticed that Arias had light-colored hair, unlike her previous appearance with dark brown hair, and there were cuts on her hands. On June 6, Jodi Ann Arias left Salt Lake City and headed west towards California. During her trip, she called Travis Alexander multiple times and left several messages on his voicemail. She also gained access to his mobile phone voicemail. As of June 7, when Arias returned the rented car, she had traveled approximately 4,500 kilometers. An employee of the rental company noticed that the car was missing floor mats, and there were red stains on the front and back seats. However, After the car was returned, there was no opportunity to prove the presence of floor mats at the time of return, and the red stains were cleaned before being inspected by the police. On June 9, Travis Alexander's friends were unable to reach him and went to his house. They discovered large pools of blood in the hallway leading to the main bathroom and Alexander's body in the shower. During the 911 emergency call, Alexander's friends mentioned Jodi Ann Arias as a possible suspect. They reported that Arias had been stalking him, hacking his Facebook account, and slashing the tires of his car. During the search of Travis Alexander's home, the police found his new digital camera, which was heavily damaged, in the washing machine. The police were able to recover deleted images that depicted Jodi Ann Arias and Travis Alexander in erotic poses. These photos were taken on June 4 at approximately 1:40 p.m. The last photo, showing Travis Alexander alive, depicted him in the shower and was taken at 5:29 p.m. on the same day. In the subsequent photos, taken just a few minutes later, Travis was allegedly seen bleeding on the bathroom floor. A bloody palm print containing the DNA of Jodi Ann Arias and Travis Alexander was discovered on the wall in the foyer. On July 9, 2008, in Maricopa County, Arizona, a grand jury indicted Jodi Ann Arias on charges of first-degree murder. 6 days later, she was arrested at her home, and on September 5, she was extradited to Arizona. On September 11, she pleaded not guilty. Throughout this time, she presented several different versions of her involvement in Travis Alexander's death. Initially, she told the police that she was not in Mesa on the day of the murder and had last seen Travis in March 2008. She then claimed that two unknown individuals attacked them in Travis's house, killed him, and assaulted her. 2 years after her arrest, Jodi Ann Arias told the police that she killed Travis in self-defense, claiming to be a victim of domestic violence. On April 6, 2009, the court denied the motion filed by the defendant to remove the Maricopa County Prosecutor's office from the case. Later, on May 18, the court ordered Jodi Ann Arias to undergo an IQ test and psychiatric evaluation to assess her mental state at the time of the crime. On May 7, 2013, after over 15 hours of deliberation, the jury found Jodi Ann Arias guilty of first-degree murder. Out of the 12 jurors, 5 found her guilty of premeditated first-degree murder, and 7 also found her guilty of felony murder. At the announcement of the verdict, Travis Alexander's family smiled and embraced, expressing relief. People outside the courtroom started applauding and chanting. On May 20, 2013, the defense filed a motion claiming that a witness who was supposed to testify in favor of Arias was receiving threats. 1 day before filing the documents, the witness contacted Arias's attorney and stated that she no longer wished to testify due to the threats. The motion stated, "It should also be noted that these threats followed threats made to Alice La Violette, which is recorded and certified." However, this motion was rejected, as well as the motion to stay the proceedings, which was filed to seek time for appealing procedural rulings to the Arizona Supreme Court. On May 29, 2013, the Arizona Supreme Court declined to review the appeal that was filed 3 months earlier, similar to the previous decision of the Arizona Court of Appeals. Attorney Nurmi requested the higher court to exclude the cruelty factor in the murder, as the trial court made that determination based on an incorrect version of the murder events. Initially, the lead detective claimed that a gunshot was fired first, followed by knife wounds and throat slashing. Based on this version, Judge Stevens concluded that the crime was committed with special cruelty. However, after the first hearing, the forensic expert concluded that the gunshot occurred after death. On July 6, 2018, Arias's new attorneys, Margaret M. Green and Corey Engel, filed a 324-page appeal seeking to overturn her murder conviction. On October 17, 2019, Arias's lawyers argued in the Court of Appeals that her conviction should be overturned due to prosecutorial misconduct throughout the trial, which created a media frenzy and influenced the trial's outcome. On March 24, 2020, the court ruled that despite the prosecutor's egregious and self-promoting actions, Arias was convicted based on overwhelming evidence of her guilt, and the verdict was upheld.